Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome to What's Your Money Style and why it's running the show and what to do about it. This is so exciting. I've put together four different ways that your money is running the show and how that affects you and can be for the better or for the worse. So I'm really excited to take you through this whole ordeal of what it looks like to be in relationship with money and how to heal your relationship with money. I'm Maggie Emerson. I'm the founder of Boku Babe. And hang on tight. This is going to be quick, efficient, and really give you some really awesome tools to start shifting how you relate with money. And in turn, if you want it, having more money, not only having more money, like allowing more money into your life, but having more money stay with you. So it's not an in and out sort of thing. All right, so next up, what we're covering today, the four different money styles that shape your money experience, what it means to heal your relationship with money, and a little bit of how to heal that with each different money style, and how to use your money style to increase your income and stability when it comes to money. And it'll also affect other parts of your life. So a little bit about me before we dive all the way in. I am the founder of Boku Babe. This business came about because of all the work I've done. Everything I've done has led up to this, including being a mama of a 15-year-old boy. I am the curiosity queen. I'll get you to get curious and ask so many questions about how to live your life in a really magnificent way and also allow money to be super supportive for you. And I have a gift of knowing how to make the mundane fun. Why that's important to you? Like if budgeting, or I like to call it spending plans or numbers or things like make you want to like roll your eyes or just exit the premises. I know how to make these little things fun, the things that make us go, ugh, or want us to hide or want us to run away from these adulting like things. I know how to make them fun. And then they become part of who you are and it becomes like expansive. All right. And I've taken myself from being a struggling single mom to a financially confident and abundant woman. It's a really fun journey. Well, the journey was a little interesting. That's another story, but it's really fun to be on this side of it and to be able to share all the bits and pieces so that no matter where you are, like I have clients who are millionaires who I'm helping unhook from that like different feelings of not feeling safe with money or feeling insecure, even though they have lots of it, right? We all, no matter where our money lies, whether we're living month to month or multi-millions, all these little things that I'm going to share with you, these money styles affect all of us. And the way you go beyond them to feel more at peace and secure and at ease with money, I'm going to share that with you too. And I am all about blending the practical and the energetic aspects of healing your relationship with money. So, yes, we have these practical things we have to, or we get to, have in our lives as we have money living in this world where we have different systems with money. But then there's the energetic pieces that either can repel money for us and make it hard, or there's energetic pieces that open up things to make them easier. So here we go. First and foremost, what does it mean to heal your relationship with money? So the beautiful thing is, and I'm going to let you in on a secret, your relationship with money often is a reflection of your relationship with yourself in some way, shape, or form. Now, don't go reading too deeply into that right now. But it often is like if you're feeling anxious about certain things, or you find yourself anxious about like always being the worrier about friends or other people, or worrying if like what's going to happen in the future or what's happening in the past, that's often how you relate to money. If you relate to yourself as in like sometimes you really tend to yourself, and sometimes you just ignore what you need and take care of everyone else, that often applies to how you function with money. If you're really, 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 really kind to yourself and loving yourself and really consistent with showing up for yourself in certain ways, that often applies to how you tend to money. This again, get curious as I step into these money styles and how they can be supportive to you. But it really is this beautiful way that as you heal your relationship with money, you actually heal your relationship with yourself and you become more confident in who you are. You become more authoritative in how you show up. You become more of a leader. You're no longer like kind of like, is it all going to be okay? You go, okay, no, I got this. Right. And that's an inside job. So are you ready to heal your relationship with money? If so, let's go. If not, see you later. So here are the 4 money relationship styles. We've got, before I go there, what I want you to do is head on over to the quiz. So I have a money relationship style quiz that will help you find out, with 9 questions. It should take 1, 2, at 3 minutes at most if you think through things longer, what your prominent money relationship style is. And I say that with your prominent relationship money style is because all of these things, and I'm pointing to them and you can't see them, but all of these 4 things, you could probably have a little bit of each. So as I go through these in the next couple of slides, I want you to go like, oh, that sounds like me. Oh, that sounds like me. And just notice. The quiz will give you like your most prominent one to give you a little more like where you can focus on first to start healing that relationship with money, and use, the safety seekers gifts, because there are gifts to each one. Use the gifts to open up to more financial flow and ease with money. So if you need to pause this, go take the quiz. But the first and foremost one that I'm going to talk about is the safety seeker. So the safety seeker is often hyper aware of financial gaps and or just hyper aware of their finances, that it just kind of feels like they're always seeking to make sure like that they're okay, right? They're comparing their money situation to others, wondering what they're doing wrong. Like they might look around and be like, why can they have that? Why did they get inheritance and I didn't? And they can relax, right? And like they're often in scarcity of like, there's not enough. Even if they get more income, it feels too much, that it's not enough. And they seek security, but they doesn't feel it. Like sometimes like a safety seeker can sometimes receive an influx of money, and that almost puts them on even more hyper alert, because they're like, oh, and now I have more. What if it goes away? And then I'm still not okay. Right. And also the thing about safety seekers is you care deeply about others, and maybe too deeply, because you often forget to include yourself. So you might be the one that is like, I'll cover the tea all the time, or I'll get the coffee, I'll get the treats, I'll get the meal, not thinking about your finances and what that does to it, because you're looking also for that safety in relationship, that if you do this, then you'll get something in return. Okay. A little bit more. I'm going to go here if I can. Yes, I can. Sweet. So when you take the quiz, and you can find the links here too, you'll find a little bit more. And I want to go over this a little bit. We've already gone over this part. The core energy of a safety seeker is someone who's always scanning for safety. Like, am I okay? It might be someone who picks up their phone and checks their account to make sure it's okay to make a purchase all the time. Again, not saying this is wrong. It's just it's the energetics of it. It might look like feeling anxious about buying basic needs. I remember when things were hard and as I was coming out of having financial stress, the groceries were always a stressor for me. Like it was like, am I going to have enough? If I buy this, can I buy groceries next week? That used to be how it was for me, right? Safety seekers. I was a safety seeker. I still get to tend to my safety seeker tendencies, right? They're worried. There's a constant worry if there'll be enough, even if it's not always in their cognitive mind, there's a churning in the back of their mind. They hustle to secure it. So it's like, oh my gosh, I need this. And they hustle, hustle, hustle. And sometimes like they have this energy. Some people have, who are safety seekers, have this energy where they like save, but like it goes away quickly, right? Because there's this gripping release happening. They're often highly responsible, deeply devoted, really hardworking. They have big hearts, big energy. They just don't trust themselves with money yet, right? It doesn't feel like it's trustworthy because it is like in and out, or like never feeling like enough. Now, often desires of safety seekers, excuse me, are to finally feel safe with money, and in other words, to feel like money is going to be there for them longer than a flash, right? They want to know that money is there no matter what. Like like if you have, excuse me, a best friend, that they're there for you when you need it, right? Or like a loyal dog. They want to trust that it's not all going to disappear. They want to be able to relax and still create consistent income, that they don't feel like they always have to be hyper vigilant, and to discover like you're good with money, right? You're always safety seeking. You kind of like start to think you're not good with money. Now, your gifts, you have a deep attunement to that. They have like a devotion to others, a willingness to learn and grow, a high capacity to detail. My safety seekers are usually someone who really track their money. Right. And so your gifts and how to use the safety seeker energy, I'm going to give you two main things to play with this. Okay. And those are one is to start when money comes to you, you're going to pause and really receive it. Just really like, okay, thank you, money, for coming to me. And just you're letting your brain and your body know. And that's why I put hand on heart. Thank you for coming. You're letting your body know, like, no, money is coming from me. You find a penny on the ground. Thank you so much. Money is coming to me. There's like, and then when you're spending, it's like, there's always more money coming back to me. I'm learning that I can spend money and money will always come back to me. You're programming that, like, I've got you sense within yourself. Okay. That's what you're going to do and play with. That's where you start building that muscle of trust within yourself so that money starts to be something that is there for you, not something you're constantly scanning if it's going to be there for you. Now, you can pause right now and take a moment to think, okay, what aspects of the safety seeker feel true to me and how I function with money right now? And what am I taking with me so that I can create more spaciousness for myself as a safety seeker? All right, we're going to move to the untethered dreamer. So the untethered dreamer has their head in the clouds or head in the sand when it comes to money. You don't want to look at it, right? You don't want to be bogged down by having to look at it. Often you may have bills like envelopes stacked up, numbers feel heavy. You're not going to look at your bank account. You're just hoping that it's all going to work out. You crave freedom, but like the idea of like putting a system and structure, having to put something that it feels confining. And you want to flow with money and not feel like you have to be like boxed in by it. All right. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the untethered dreamer here. Oh no. Hold on. We'll fix untethered. We'll fix that. Shoot. Untethered. Bear with me. Untethered. If I can spell. There we go. The untethered dreamer. I just don't know how to find it. Okay. Often, so the untethered dreamer, like in a capsule, like hides from money to stay free, but ends up stuck, right? So like when you put money out of the picture and you don't want to play with it, like you keep it out of the picture, right? You can do this to a degree and have things work for you, but if you're really wanting to expand your capacity to create money, receive money, hold money, the untethered dreamer gets to find what I'm going to share with you a little bit more of a container so you can tell money where to go and where you want it to go. So the core energy of an untethered dreamer, like I said, lets bills go unopened and counts unchecked and details delayed that kind of push it off. You feel overwhelmed by numbers, systems, and adulting. You crave freedom more than security, and you really care deeply about living a meaningful, spacious life, but you don't want money to like trap you in or stop you. And you're kind of like giving money the middle finger sometimes because you're like, whatever, I'll figure it out later. But again, that can leave a little bit of a stressfulness on you. And you prefer like that intuitive, yes, I can afford this over logistics. Now I will tell you, I feel like I have like all of these things. It's like, which one is the dominant one of all these relationship styles? And I was someone who just flew by their seat of their pants for a while. And it wasn't until I really got clear on what money I needed to run my life and then where that money was going and how it was supporting me, like including like putting some in savings, did it open up for me. So if you're an untethered dreamer and you're like, it's working fine if I'm not looking at it, I just really invite you to like take a moment and like, like have a money date with yourself. And if you don't know what a money date is, just email me. My email will be at the end of this presentation. Have a money date with yourself to really see what's there, where you want money to go, what's coming in. You might be surprised. You might be receiving more than you are, and money's going in places that you don't want it to go. It's really important to have that awareness. So untethered dreamers desire to feel free and grounded and engage with money without dread or shutdown, and to trust that the clarity, like getting specifics, won't limit your creativity or your flow. And they want ease. You want to create some ease without avoidance, right? Because ultimately the untethered dreamer is like, I'll look at it later, or maybe never. And you want to feel empowered about it instead of boxed in. So your gifts as an untethered dreamer is like visionary thinking, a strong intuition, creative problem solving, big picture, right? You're a natural manifester when you're rooted in what you want to do, because you're probably like, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to do that. Right. And so you're like, it's your neck, like what needs to happen there is just really like go from avoidance to clarity so that you can like create a clear path to work towards. And so the two things I'm going to give, that if you are more of the, you've done the test and your most dominant style is the untethered dreamer, what I want you to do is start like pick a time to have a moment with money, a money date with yourself, and just even look at what aspect of this feels easiest for me to look at, right? Whether it's the number one thing I love to do is actually have people, like especially untethered dreamers, is to just go to their thing and open your bank account and just look at what's there. That's it. That's number one. Just be like, oh, I like to say, I'm just opening mine too and be like, hi, money. I'm greeting it like I would greet my son in the morning. Good morning. Hi. Right. So that's number one, is just starting the practice. Number two is, what is the number one thing as an untethered dreamer? What is the number one money thing that's bugging you? Maybe it's a bill you need to pay. Maybe it's looking at your credit cards. Maybe it's what's coming up. Pick one thing to face and show yourself that it's like, oh, I can do it. Those are the things. So, and then from there, you just keep doing one thing at a time, because what happens with the untethered dreamer, if you see all the things that this world requires you to look at with money, it's like, no, I'm not going there. One thing at a time. All right. That's for my untethered dreamers. So as we switch over here, come back to what parts of the untethered dreamer feel like you, and what are you taking with you, right? And as you listen to the next two styles of relating with money, I want you to really like just pick two things that I've said, whether it's from two different money styles or one specific money style. Pick two things to put into play, and then come back and watch it again and choose the next two to start healing that, shifting and healing that relationship you have with money. Next up, we have the chaotic alchemist. And the chaotic alchemist is really like, you take the safety seeker and the untethered dreamer and you put them together. And you've got the chaotic alchemist, where you toggle between like, I need this to be a certain way on hyper alert, to like, I don't even want to look at it, right? It's that push-pull sense. The chaotic alchemist craves abundance, but gets overwhelmed by how. It's like, I need this, but like all the things that you think have to be put in place to create it become like, you start to focus on it and then you're like, I'm out, it's too much. They're versatile, right? They usually tend to be able to like have their hands in all the things, but it kind of is like, okay, I'm going to take this course. And then like you get to most of that course is done. And then you like, I can't handle it anymore. And then they're like, oh, this person's saying this thing about money. Then I'm going to go look at this. And you kind of get like halfway, 75% through, and you're like, oh, that's too much. I'm going to look at how this person does. That's kind of like how a chaotic alchemist functions. They often don't like to talk about money unless it's to make how to make more so you don't have to think about it. Okay. And we're going to check them out over here. The chaotic alchemist. We're going to go. So the biggest thing for a chaotic alchemist to create, and this is going to be one of the things I'm going to have you look at, is to design systems in your life to create the consistency in your life. So it doesn't feel so much like push pull. Right. So the energy of the chaotic alchemist is like craves abundance and gets overwhelmed by the how. They overplan, overthink, and then they're like, I can't even. Right. They're like, this is the plan. I can't even. Like when I first started, it's funny. Like I think I was like in the beginning of my journey. I think of all of these, like I said, but in the beginning of my journey, I'd be like, okay, this is how it's going to be. Right. And I would get so focused on the numbers, and then the numbers felt too much. And then I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to I'm just going to just do what I used to do. But over time, the more I sat down and like created spaciousness in the system to allow me to like, that's how, when I started doing my money dates, and my money dates are very specific to like specific things. So it's not all the same things at once. It's like, okay, this is the money date. Like I have a money date called the numbers date. So I'll have a numbers date and then that's complete, right? And I can be consistent with my money dates because they're specific. It's not everything at once, right? So that's what the chaotic alchemist needs, is something that's like specific. It can come to completion. So it feels complete, because often the chaotic alchemist is going in all different directions and there's no like complete energy to it. And then that brings out their power, right? So you probably, as a chaotic alchemist, you've seen yourself like really go gung ho and make money and then be so exhausted you don't. So your job is to claim that power and find that consistency. You feel money more intensely because when you're in it, you're in it. But when you're out of it, it's kind of like you feel it in a different way. Could be more high-low emotional. Money comes in, you get excited. Money feels sparse, you get really like down on yourself. And often the chaotic alchemist feels behind despite bursts of success. And often that's because it's like the push-pull thing happening. So the desires of a chaotic alchemist are to create steady income without losing your spark, right? To be calm and excited about money, like a consistent calm, to stop starting over, right? Not this push-pull stuff. To trust themselves with follow-through and experience abundance without overwhelm. So the gifts of the chaotic alchemist are, you can transform fast, right? Alchemy, you can transform fast. When you're in your phase of like all in, things are happening, right? That's a gift. How do we bring that across the board? You're super adaptable, right? You put your hands in a lot of different things. You're creative. You've got strong manifesting energy. When you're in it, you're in it. You're magnetic. You're pull it in. It's when you zip out that makes it more challenging. So your next step is creating that stability so you can hold your intensity, right? So the two things I want to give you as a chaotic alchemist is to find, number one, I already mentioned, look at money dates. And again, like I said, if you don't know what a money date is, message me, I'll tell you more about it. Find something in your money world that you can be consistent with, whether that's opening up your bank statement and looking at it every Monday, Money Mondays. You'd have a moment. And then as you become more consistent with that, start looking at every day, right? So you can see what that is. And then look at, okay, get curious. Okay, okay, I have this chaotic alchemist experience. And how do I want to create more consistency? Get curious about what would feel good. What would allow me to relax around money, right? Maybe it's like pick one other habit with money, whether that's creating a spending plan or looking at like what it costs you to run your life and where you want to put your money. And I would say set up a system, whether that's a spending plan or a direct deposit. Here's an example of one I did in the beginning. In that like as I had more money come in, I wanted to feel safe and secure spending money on the fun things. I wanted to have a fun. So I created a bank account that was the joy and style fund, because two things were important to me. Having fun with my kiddo without feeling like it was taking from my other things. Because what was happening is I would spend a lot on my son and I or clothes and then feel guilty and not have what I needed or things feel tight, right? So I created a joy and style fund bank account. I named it that. Right. And so every 2 weeks, a certain amount goes into that account. So I always have that available to me to spend on myself, my clothes, my son, all of that. And what that did was it created this consistent knowing and put my nervous system at ease, my body at ease, my mind at ease, so that in my chaos of wanting to do it, I had the consistency of, oh, I have money to do that. So those are the two things I want you to do as a chaotic alchemist. Now, on to number 4. Let's look at this, is the elegant architect. And this is more the, and you may have some elements of this, or maybe depending on like different aspects of your financial world, and maybe you are an elegant architect as your prominent style. This is someone who is more grounded and clear and steadily growing. They want to, like, you're kind of at that phase where you're like, okay, I'm ready to deepen my financial abundance without sacrificing my freedom, right? More money does not equal more work at this point. You're like, okay, I've worked hard. Now, how do I become the architect of creating more abundance for myself? You're ready to invest or invest more and having money work for you. And you have this relationship with money that it's like, no, I've been showing up with you for a while. And you're not chasing it anymore. So, oh, and I will update the link, but let's just look at, hold on, we'll go here. The elegant architect. Perfect. We'll look at this. So we've already read that, but so it's like for the elegant architect, it's time to step into like a new identity. And that doesn't mean your current identity is anything bad or wrong. It's just like, oh, if you want more money, it's time to step into the you that has more money, right? The energy of the elegant architect is you have more, like it's a healthy, more trusting relationship with money. You're not worried if it's going to go away as much. Maybe it's less than you had before. Maybe you grew up in a family where it just was like, you knew money was going to be there for you. It's clear, grounded, and steady. You know where it's going. You know where it'd like to go. You might be like, if I had more, I know where I'd want that to go. You have more of a comfort sitting safe with money, feeling safe with money, feeling like you can look at it. You've built that financial stability from the inside out, maybe even from the outside in. Who knows? Maybe you grew up with more money. Maybe you've done the work to build money that is, without a doubt, it's consistent. Money supports your life. You have overflow, or you're on your way to overflow. And you make consistent intent. You're really intentional with your money. You're not restrictive. You're not like flash in the pan and jump back and restrictive. You're just really intentional and consistent with your choices, right? You show up for money. You move from more clarity than urgency. And because you do have that relationship of knowing where your money is, where it's going, and where you want to take it. So the elegant architect's desires are to expand wealth and elegance with ease, to invest and scale consciously, and to align money with purpose and pleasure, to refine your systems. Like, how can you refine your system so that more of your money is making more money for you? How do you, if you have a business, how do you, look at your business model to shift into potentially serving more for less, but you make more because of it? If that makes sense. And then to embody abundance at the next level. It's like, this is your time to get curious, be like, okay, so money feels relatively good for me right now. What would I like to create next? That's where you're looking. So the elegant architects has like the experience of building into strategic thinking, emotional regulation around money, kind of a bigger long-term vision, a deeper self-trust. Like, money is this relationship that you've built over time, and natural leadership with money. So as an elegant architect, here are your two things I want you to do to look at increasing your money flows. Number one, I want you to celebrate, like make a list of, this is all the ways that I've created money and how I can continue to trust with myself with money and know that more money is all on the way to me. So a little journal exercise. This is the evidence. Your next thing is to think about, and whether you're a voice person or a written person, journal person, is like, what do you really want to create next? And who do you get to become to have that, right? And look at what comes up for you as to, do you get overwhelmed? Do you think you have to work harder? All that. Find out what's all there so that you can refine your vision, not because of fears, but be like, oh, understand what's stopping me. This is what's stopping me. I'm afraid that if I grow my business, I'll have less time with my kids. Or if I'm afraid if I make more money, it's just going to go away to some, like, my car is going to break down and that money's going to go away. Okay, so that's your exercises. All right. Now you know all the money relationship styles. And so your job, again, like I said, pick two that feel the most approachable to do action steps to start facing your relationship with money and shift it so that you can have more. It's like the only thing stopping you is you. Now, yes, it might be like you need to be paid more, you need to like have a raise, or you need to charge more or something like that to bring your income to a certain place. But first and foremost, it starts with how you show up with money. Okay. Your next steps, if you haven't already, take the money relationship quiz and discover what your money style is. Then pick your tool. So, and then once you've done the quiz, watch your inbox in a week from now, and you'll receive the key information to support you. So you will, when you do the quiz, you will get immediately, here's your results. You can look at it, right? And from this presentation, you'll have links to look at all of them to see, right? And then come play with me on Instagram. I'm Boku_babe. I'll fix that for you. Boku_ ignore the .com, or Facebook. It's under facebook.com/Maggie Connection. Come request to be my friend. Let me know you were on this presentation. I would love to connect with you. And if you have questions right away, please email hello@boku-babe.com. Here's to like, it is like whether, no matter where you are, my wish for you is to have the ease and spaciousness and joy with money, so that you can relax and really enjoy your life. So have fun with this. Do message me. Let me know how it goes, how you're feeling about it. And I will see you next time on wherever I find you next. Ciao for now.